Okay, so another cycle, another day waiting for these damn ships to dock eventually. They will at some point. I cannot self-repair. I need scrap. I'll definitely go and grab some scrap. Is not really a big deal. Just gotta go over here and but you know what? We'll wait. We'll wait on that. Wait for like a 5 or a 6. So you're working on the data. This is done. Yeah. You're like one away if I give you one into it. Okay, well get going. Dust house fully preserved. With remarkable intuition, you not only support the step silk, but harden it. Aki smiles when she sees the result. If the dust house are to preserve their closed biomes, they will need shielding against the flux and protecting from their slow decay. No more decay, Aki. You and Aki stand side by side at the viewing window in silence. The dust swirls and you glimpse the twisted root systems of the step silk through the ochre haze. After all these cycles, you feel a strange connection to a world on which you have never set foot. Aki shifts from from foot to foot. She seems restless, eager to speak but unsure of what to say. The dust house looks good. Aki smiles at you warmly. They do. She pauses and turns back to the window. What is the value of all this? She asks suddenly. Of preserving a world we have left behind. History, heritage, conservation? Heritage. Aki is silent for a moment. Our practices, our lives require the materials, the patterns that step provides. But if those practices remain unchanged while the universe around them shifts, aren't they already dead? She pauses. What is better, to preserve at all costs or to allow things to be destroyed by change? Aki paces away, lost in thought. You think you should change now? I am grateful to you for helping protect the dust houses, for ensuring their slide into decay is delayed, even averted. But now I find myself at an impasse. The stability of the dust houses changes things. It makes me aware of how blinkered we have been. Blinkered? Aki stops to look at you, her posture somehow different. If the ecosystems of the steppe, if its people cannot grow to meet the future, why preserve it? He frowns. Are we just slaves to the preservation of what came before? Cannot grow to meet the future. Not slaves, inheritors, you can change. You're not slaves, you're inheritors. Aki nods, but the weight of this inheritance is heavy. Aki comes close, holds your hands in hers. We must change. We must change to live. She smiles. I have seen that in you. The steppe, these people, this ship should serve more than heritage, than history. They should serve the future. She takes a breath. There are those in the flotilla that need clothes, that need food. They can benefit from the gifts of the steppe's ecosystem. I want you to invite them. Can you do that for me? How? I know that Saul sent you, she smiles. You can tell him Aki, captain of the wind's long shadow, invites all the people of the flotilla to come. So she is the damn captain? You're the captain? He smiles. You never asked. Aki steps away. You want to know about the flux, no? About its purposes, its origins? She smiles. You wish to protect your home as we could not. True, and myself, obviously. So do you know about its purposes and origins? I am afraid I don't have much to tell you. It is an exotic wave of sorts, an energy that passes through matter. It shifts the very charged particles which run through our electrical systems. It is possible to shield against it, as you would radiation, as we have done with the dust house, but only while it is weak. The flux event here was much like the first ones we felt on Ember's Step, localized, destructive but bearable. But in time, its strength grew. I don't know if it will be the same here, but she pauses. It is coming from the center of the system, from the close orbit of Helion star H1. That is all we could uncover. She is silent for a moment, unsure of what to add. So it coming from the star. I'm sorry I cannot offer more, but you are always welcome on this ship. She smiles. I hope I will see you when the others come. He squeezes both your hands. I hope this ship, these dust houses, can be more than a museum. I hope they can be a home. With this she turns and leaves, and you feel that word, home, resonating within you like a struck bell. Well, there you go. That's probably one more point. No, that's not the right one. This one. Stability in the flotilla means relieving the pressure on the refugees from all 3 moons of Ember. So we're done with 2 of them. The last one, they want me to just work here. They want spores and they want a ship mind replacement. Fingers will only trust you if you act independently of Earth. Fulfilling supply requests is a good start. Establish a mushroom farms and looking for a ship mind to replace their damaged one. Start with that. Then we can go here, get ourselves some scrap. That'll keep us alive. And now there are many things I can do. I can go to the aviary and try and get good mushrooms. Let's try. Ooh, Matsuke caps. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Instead, I'm gonna head to this place and I'm gonna start grabbing grove spores. Positive outcome to grove spores. Come on, give me one more. Neutral? Neutral, plus one grove spore. Okay, well, and then I also have some Matsuke caps. You want club heads. Yeah, okay, so I don't have any club heads for you. But if I head over to your place, I do have your grove spores. One of the ships is trying to establish a mushroom farm to help feed the crews. They're looking for spores to get them started. The spores have been seeded, and while some may be suspicious of your efforts, crew by crew, you will convince them. There you go. Action is now unavailable. So, if we keep moving back, cross the rim. Now, Matsukes can be sold, right? Yeah, we need 3, or they can be cooked and eaten. You can head over to this place and start cooking the Matsuke caps. Softer touch. Boom. Tala always comes to look when you cook Matsuke. The smell draws her in. You eat the mushrooms together with a glass of a roll. You can always go to him, but it's fine. We don't have to pay for it if we don't have to. And we'll feed the catty. We'll repair ourselves, keep us alive. And we'll end the cycle. We'll be done. Now all we need for the ship's mission, one thing to do is to wait, but I mean, you know, that's whatever. Enter the Greenway Flotilla support, help settle tensions, help the experiments, study the flux. So yeah, this is all just a waiting game now. One more day for these ships. Okay, that's fine. I'll cross over. We'll use one of our 5s here before I forget. This keeps us alive, nothing else. Positive outcome, 1 scrap components. We'll use another 5 over here in the aviary to harvest our mushrooms properly. 2 random rare. Oh, what the hell? It's all Matsuke. Let's try again. Freaking 4 Matsuke, 1 roll. Bro, I don't want this. Now I gotta plant more. Well, let's go and collect spores then. 1 spore. I lost all energy. Great. Well, at least we can put a spore. Need a bunch more. And we can eat some food. Cook it ourselves and eat it. Today was kind of like a waste, eh? I didn't even refresh my stuff. I should have. Damn fool. We'll head over here. Let's cook some. Oh, we need 2 roll caps, huh? Heat up. And honestly, let's sell some of these. There you go. 80 cryo. That's a good deal. Paz hands you the chits, careful as always, wondering what kind of money he's making. Probably like a good amount. Feed the cat. Prepare our own boti. End the cycle. Tomorrow one of the ships should be back carrying scrap, so we'll buy scrap, hoping for a ship mind fragment for free. You know how it is. Here comes one of the ships. Go. 16 bucks for scrap. What did I get? Scrap, that's fine. What else? What else? More scrap. Come on. Alright, it's all scrap all the time. That's completely fine. Scrap is useful. In fact, we can just use one right now. Repair our body. Eat the cat, before I forget. Now that we have scrap already, and put our efforts into perhaps collecting some spores. Go. These spores can go right in here. Now it's a waiting game again. First it has been planted. And now what? Good question. Perhaps no good answer right now. I still need a ship mind. Here. This will happen tomorrow. And then you can work on work with Peaky. This I'm still working on. Over here we have nothing much to do. We could have a work assignment. Honestly, we can have a 5. We can put a 5 in here, get some scrap. That's always useful. Keep me alive for one more day for free. Hyper Lab, she only wants club heads. This place is working. I can work the farm stacks. I can steal harvest. I don't really feel like doing that though. What I will do instead, I feel, is work on my Bliss's Bay. It's my bay now. Low scale repair contracts. Positive outcome. Manage an M2 converter rewire. Can help him out. Make some money while we're at it. Random scrap item. Look at that. For free. Negative outcome. You mess up a drive repair and Moritz isn't happy. You both grumpily take apart and rebuild the whole thing. Exhausting. What the hell? Well, whatever. I still get paid. That's the important part. There you go. Give me some fungus. Back up. And I'm insanely full on scrap, so no way I'm dying anytime soon. Tell you that much. Be at some point in the future. But right now it's all good. Go, that ship is coming in tomorrow. This one is just chilling. I have nothing for it. Cross to Greenway. Our farm is growing. It's gonna take some time. Who are ready? Peaky. Have you ever heard of Khan Channel, Sleeper? Peaky asks as soon as you enter the bay, as if you were in the middle of a conversation. There are heavy circles under their eyes, and you aren't sure if they've moved since you last visited. The console they are working at seems to have grown too, shadowing the slide frame in a wealth of screens and wires. Khan, you mean for transit? Yes, exactly. Peak turns to face you. Kiomani's active navigation, the name of the effect used to transport trillions of tons of materials from the surrogate systems to the core. You might have heard of it in your physics classes. Okay, so it's Khan channels I used to transport stuff. As at XPR they hammered the principles into us as kids. Khan. Peak recites the definition as if in the classroom. A process of collapsing spatial causality along the Euclidean distance between 2 points by negating mass simultaneously at both ends of a geodesic curve. Essentially, Khan channels allow for the near instantaneous transport of raw materials between systems. They require huge volumes of energy, of course, and decades of construction, but once a Khan channel is established, it opens up a system for infinite exploitation. The backbone of surrogacy is what XPR calls them. Peak shakes their head. They might not be able to send anything more complex than a rock through them. Complex machines and people are, shall we say, reconfigured by the process. But for raw, molecularly pure materials, Peak flicks a hand. Whoosh. Where is this going? Peak pauses. What I was trying to find out was whether the Helian system, this system, ever had a Khan channel, and you think it's malfunctioning or something. Khan channels are vastly expensive to build to run. Not every surrogate system has one. Many use fraction drive ships to transport their materials to the nearest hub, but Solheim, Peak smiles. Solheim spared no expense when they established this system. There is a Khan channel. Yep, Peak's eyes light up. They shut it down before the collapse. They couldn't run the sender receiver station anymore, but it was there. It still is, as far as I can tell, closely orbiting our star. In fact, Peak grins, they've been building to this. I'm sure it's still there because one of the issues with Khan channels are the massive waves of exotic energy they can produce when cycling up. The flux. Exactly, Peak's face suddenly drops. Someone is starting up the channel. Why? Peak sucks in a breath. That I don't know. They start counting off information on their fingers. They'd need a lot of resources to do it, and they'd have to have people from the core systems. But there's no real large scale extraction in the Helion system anymore. So why would you go to the trouble? Maybe it's Solheim. Peak shakes their head. The company went under decades ago, Sleeper. We might not get much core news out here, but it seems unlikely. They pause. But I've also been thinking. Peak rubs their red eyes. The flux, the wave the Khan effect produces. It is a side effect, a problematic one, but it isn't a destructive force. If it was, the core systems would have never been able to use it. So then why are colonies collapsing because of it? Why is it chewing through systems? The kind of industrial systems set up to function within the range of a once active Khan channel. Peak is getting frustrated. Maybe it is malfunctioning, sending out even bigger waves than it should, who knows? The moons of Ember have been terraforming since before the collapse. They would have had to deal with the flux. Yet everything we have heard from the refugees says it brought down every system they had. Peak falls quiet, thinking it all through. Your mind drifts too, thinking of the Khan channels, those vast causal highways that prop up the core systems and their endless appetite for resources. This system has been quiet for decades. Solheim collapsed, most corporations gave up their claims, and apart from the Celis ships that came to begin work on the sidereal horizon, no one from the core has come here in all that time. You shiver as you imagine the attention of the core, the systems of logic and exploitation that created you, created your suffering, turning towards the Helion system, a floodlight turned to this dark corner. A shrill bleep catches both of your attention, and Peak rushes to a screen, one showing a crude map of the station. On it, individual markers begin to flare up with insistent chirps. Peak looks puzzled for a moment, and then their face drops. No, 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 they lean in close. This doesn't make any sense. Another damn flux is coming? What's happening? The flux nodes are appearing elsewhere on the station. Peak pulls at their hair. I set this system to alert me to other flux nodes near the epicenter of the flux event, but these are everywhere. The hub, the low end, the shipyard. How can this happen? The only reason we saw fluxed nodes here is because it is the most run-down part of the station. They were barely shielded, but others appearing so far after the event. Peak turns to you. You are going to need to get me the data from these nodes, and quickly. I'll keep looking at what I have here, but I need to know why they are popping up everywhere. Right now? Right now. We can talk more about Khan channels and system history when you are back, but this needs our attention right now. Peak turns quickly back to the monitor, their eyes following scrolling screens of code spewing from the newly fluxed nodes. You leave quickly, but struggle to shake the image of the spotlight from your mind. You feel watched as you cross back into the Pilgrim Seed on your way to a shuttle bay. You hurry onward, eager to outrun the fear. Okay, so there's more damn flux nodes appearing. Peak has tracked flux nodes in the low end hub and shipyard. They want the data extracted from all three. Right, so it's this stupid Khan channel. Maybe it's malfunctioning, maybe someone is using it like too much. There must be some kind of limit maybe set up on it. That you can't use it more than X amount for X amount of stuff perhaps, or whatever. But obviously someone now doesn't have enough resources to care about safety. They're just doing it. Fluxed node. This node is inside out. It's skin writhing with distorted data. Well, I have a bunch of cores, so got the fluxed data. There's more in the shipyard. This node beats like a heart. The effect is unsettling. Well, turns out I have another 4. Flux data. Honestly, while I'm wandering around, grab a snack. Some spiced fungus. Then up to the hub. We still have Killer trapped in the hub. This node is in 2 places at once. It is there each time you turn. Well, unfortunately for it, I have a 5. I got you the data you needed. Okay, something is up here apparently. See that question mark? think it's killer up there. Writhing around, trying to be alive, even though it's definitely dead. Oh well, it's trapped. Here you go, lady. Low end hub and shipyard. Peak loads the data into their decoding setup. I'll just be a moment. Don't leave, sleeper. You watch as Peak works on the flux data, the nodes unfolding like flowers now, giving in to Peak's increasingly sophisticated decoding protocols. Seeing data like this as an image on a screen is almost an unrecognizable representation to you. It is nothing like swimming among nodes and threads. Despite this, Peak has proven themselves to be more than able to handle these complex data structures, even though this limited representational paradigm. The bay doors hisses, interrupting your flow of thoughts. You turn to see Ash entering. Rough day? She looks up and meets your eye, but doesn't respond. Ash stalks into the bay, head down. She looks tired and not in a mood to talk. How's the weapon hunt? Peak asks, without turning from the screen. She hasn't found the damn weapons yet? Slow, unsuccessful, tedious. Ash slams a bag down on a crate and hops up to sit on it. You still unpicking balls of yarn? With the sleeper's help, Peak smiles. They bought me some good stuff this cycle. Maybe they could help you find the weapons you were smuggling. Yeah, I could. It's clear that Ash doesn't appreciate Peak's tone. Still looking? Uh-huh, Ish replies, and whoever took them better be making the most of their rapidly shortening lifespan right now. Ish, Peak cuts in without looking away from the console. We talked about this. This was my mistake, Peak, and I'll fix it how I want. Ish folds her arms. I know one of the factions of the flotilla has taken them. I just need to find out which one. Peak holds up a hand. Shh. They lean in towards the screen. Son of a... What? They hid it in the wave of the wave. Peak is whispering to themselves. It's alive. They lean back in their chair. Ish crosses over to look at the screen. Alive? Well, it's growing. It's processing. It's quietly working away in the dark. Look. You cross over to the screen and stand beside Ash. In it you can see that Peak has all 4 nodes decoded and the pattern of shadows from inside them sit on the screen like dark stains. Then you notice it, the movement. The thin threads cross from one stain to another. As you watch, you notice that the movement only ever happens in your peripheral vision, as if this thing, this shadow, knows it is being watched. This is how the other flux nodes appeared. Peak rubs their eyes. They weren't fluxed by the wave, they were corrupted after the fact. This thing, this shadow that entered in the wave of the wake, it's corrupted them, but it made the corruption look like the result of the flux. So there is something in the damn flux? It is a sleight of hand. Peak rubs a hand through their hair. The flux wave is so massive, so complex that it opens up the systems to be attacked. As it reconfigures exposed systems, this shadow is broadcast in, implanted inside. So someone is probably doing this, sending like a rogue AI or something. The wave from the Khan channel. It is a brute force way of hitting every system in Helion. Once the systems are vulnerable, Peak looks pale, their eyes reflect in the screens. The flux isn't what is attacking the systems. It is the siege weapon, a Trojan horse. Then this thing takes over. Peak sits back in their chair. And it's already on the eye. Wait. Ish rubs her forehead. You are telling me there's a Khan channel in the system? Shit, Peak isn't listening. This is bad. We have to take this to someone. Peak looks desperately at you. Helene or so. Helene. Is that wise? Ash cuts in. Avanch haven't exactly made good decisions lately. Yeah, but it is their eye. Their eye is now being corrupted. They are the station administrators, Ash. Peak is desperate. They need to know. The argument rages between them, and as you watch them shouting, you feel sick. After a while, they stop, running out of things to say. An unsettling silence descends on the bay. I need more time, Peak says quietly. I need to look at solutions, try to build a case, collate the evidence. We messed this up. They look down at their hands. Eve goes to speak and then thinks better of it. Not a word, Sleeper. Peak meets your eye. Don't tell anyone until they are ready. They sigh. With the tension among the refugees, and Soul won't be ready to hear this. And Helene and Havanch are still mired in some kind of crisis. We tell Havanch, they are likely to react badly, and if we tell Soul, I doubt he'll take it well either. If you can calm the situation in the flotilla, then we can choose. You are too twisted up in this, Peak, Ish says quietly. This is not our place. We don't owe... Stop, Ash. Peak slumps in their chair. Stop. You leave them like that, exhausted and troubled, and head back out into the pilgrim seed. When you close your eyes, you think of those shadows, that movement at the edge of your vision, something dark, growing in the station like a parasite. You feel sick, your vision blurs. What comes next? You stop in a corridor and take a breath, putting a hand on a rumbling metal wall. For now, the eye keeps spinning. For now. Drive complete, +1 upgrade point. I have only one. I can do nothing with it. Alright, well. So be it. I guess we can keep helping experiments or give flotilla support. I still don't know whether there's a nurturing grow bed. The networks and systems of the Greenway have been cut off since the collapse, or could be growing with them. Can I find something in here in all this dust? I'm clicking at it, but I don't see anything. Maybe, maybe not. The spores need time to germinate and spread in the aviary. The indirect sun of a few cycles should help them along. Yeah, it's working. Then there's this stuff I can collect. Hyperlab, still need to work there. Ferry ourselves across. Let's go up top and work there. Make ourselves some money. Keep us alive. Oh well. This might end badly. Neutral. Moritz gives you a filter cleaning job to do while he goes to the racks. The quiet and focused atmosphere is relaxing, and you get some free scrap. Take home with ya. 2 days for this. Okay. I don't exactly know what I'm gonna do. I don't really have much else to do. Hit the stray and the cycle. Cycle will begin. Got some good dice. I don't exactly know what to do with the dice, but they are here. Eat up. Again, we have food. Food is like no problem for us now. So you know what? We'll repair ourselves as well. You can always grow on like a scrap hunt. Thing is, we have scrap already, so we don't need scrap. You know, tomorrow we'll get our ship mine fragment and the piece will be re-established. If I head over here, aviary still needs 2 days, bro. The flotilla, nothing much else to do. I just need to get the ship mine. That's all. Tell you what, let's grab some more scrap. Scrap components. Scrap components, and then the rest we can use to just, I don't know, work or something. Keep making money. You can always work here too, right? 16. Or we can start stealing, but like, I'm not a thief, so not gonna. Instead, we'll continue working here. Try and get some free scrap items if possible. Random scrap. And also we make money, so we lost some energy there. That's like insanely fine. Doesn't matter. There you go. Feed the stray again. I don't know if we did this morning. Probably, but it's fine. And so the ship should be here carrying ship mine fragments, which I will buy, make a ship mine, keep it over there. And Bob is your uncle. Do our daily maintenance. Eat ourselves some good food. Okay, the ship mine ship is here. Sell me your ship mine fragments. There you go, and then we head over to the Ort Fabricator. There it is. Let's reassemble with the Fabricator. Boom, I have a ship mine. Do not sell it. We'll take it over to the Greenway. Tomorrow the plants will be grown again. That is good. But for now we must get peace back. One of the single crews is looking for a ship mine to replace their flux damaged core. Maybe you can help them acquire one. Maybe I can. You supplied the ship mine, but in a way it seemed to only make the crew more suspicious of you. As Peter said, the singers will only trust you if you act independently of Earth. Fulfilling supply request is a good start. Hey, Peter. As you cross the axis looking for a shuttle to take you back to the ruined Cordon, you spot Peter standing at the edge of the central hub. Something about the way he is leaning against the rail, looking down across the axis and towards the blinking lights of the flotilla beyond, makes you pause. He is completely still, his head drooping low and his shoulders hunched high. Approach him. You lean on the railing a little way from Peter, leaving a gap between you. This close, you can see the blank stare in his eyes, the way his hands hang limply in front of him. He takes a minute to notice you. Sleeper, he inhales sharply. Still hanging around? Are you okay? Peter pauses. Not really, no. Peter closes his eyes. You can feel his mind whirring, the thoughts refusing to be still. You know, Sleeper, he says without opening his eyes, no one asked you to come here. He clenches his jaw. So why don't we just get lost? He looks directly at you. His stare a challenge. What's with you? Peter stands back from the railing. Who invited you, Sleeper? Who said you could come here? You think because the Heathers decided to name you their errand boy, we have to put up with you? Why are you mad? We don't want you here. We don't need you. His eyes burn with rage. Go home, you stupid machine. A second after he shouts that final line, he collapses in on himself, staying upright but all the energy going out of his body. He slumps back against the railing, his eyes closed once more. You wait. After a while he speaks. I am tired, Sleeper. Tired of everything. I am tired of the empty paternalism of Earth. I am tired of the paranoid whining of the crews. I am tired of endless cycles that look the same, smell the same, feel the same. I am tired of running, of hiding, of fixing every shitty little thing that breaks out here. His shout echoes a little in the hub, but few stop to look. He looks down at his feet. I get it. Peter nods. I'm sorry, Sleeper. He sighs. I don't feel okay. Just tired, I think. Really tired. He stands. I'm going to go. He looks at you and sniffs. Get some sleep. Sleep well. Peter nods slowly, turning away. He raises a hand and drifts away towards the center of the hub. You turn back to the railing, not waiting to watch him go. Seeing him like this, you prefer not to stare. The traffic of the axis rumbles on as you watch, under an endlessly shining sun. The same air recycled through all these lungs, the same dust, gathering specks by speck on the windows. You take a sharp breath, stand straight, and get moving, before the inertia of it all gets to you too. But we're not done? Oh, what the hell? Axis Assistance, Axis Job Board. The Axis houses an overflowing job board of engineering tasks requested by the crews. You can help out here. The Axis is as much a social hub as it is a supply hub. Keeping good relations with the crews will help them trust your work. Well, I don't know about that, but the more work you do for the Fingers, the more you get to know the crews, the more they will trust you. I mean, I am an engineer, so... But random scraps, boom. You take a handful of jobs and work through them, pairing tips and chatting with the crews. You can feel them warming to you. Well, I would hope so. Oh, you take on a patch job that has been on board for ages and clear it quickly. The crews are very pleased. So I'm not getting paid for these damn jobs. Of course, no one wants to do them. You're not paying people for them. Oh my god, I'm just doing horribly, huh? Or neutrally. Oh, there you go, positive. I'm getting insane amount of scrap, so I'm happy enough as is. Alright, so tomorrow we can harvest the garden, continue working for these guys, continue doing all the jobs. And we're done with this ship. We have to wait for the next ship to come in so we can get a new ship mined, make some bank, feed the stray, end the cycle. We're getting there slowly but surely. Might take. Oh, that's a roll, man. That is a real good roll. Okay, this means I should definitely get the caps I need from this place. I mean, natural 6. Come on. No, what the hell? Put in another natural 6. Oh my god, finally. You carefully pick out the best developed cap from the mulch, especially fascinated by the aroma of club-like bodies you discover. Here you go, lady, your last clubhead sample. You hand them over to an eager Rico, who immediately begins to work on the samples. Well, what's up, Rico? Rico is at her bench, running small vials of some liquid through an old chemical analysis machine. The whirring of the spinning drum fills the lab with white noise, and you aren't sure if she notices you approach. Sleeper, it is good to see you. She looks up smiling. This little project of ours has been keeping me awake the past few cycles, but right now, well, I think I have something. What is it? The drum finishes spinning and Rico lifts a vial from it, holding it up to the light. This is something I extracted from those clubheads you've been bringing me, and according to my analysis, it is a substance totally unique on the Greenway. You look at the small amount of liquid in the vial. Any idea what it might be? Rico asks, looking away from the vial. Stabilizer? Rico nods. You aren't the first Rico to come through here. Perhaps I should have mentioned that earlier. Rico's tone suddenly drops, changing the atmosphere in the lab immediately. I just thought, she pauses, thinking very carefully of how to continue. I just wanted you to trust us. What do you mean? Besides, they came through a fair few cycles ago. We found them wandering in the broken section near the gap. The members who brought them in had never seen one of you before. They were terrified of this strange person wandering in from open vacuum. They were quieter than you and damaged. We did our best to patch them up and welcome them to the commune. I only really spoke to them once, while I was working on their wounds along with a couple of systems engineers. She looks nervously at you. I had never seen a body like that before. I took some readings, some samples. Samples? You have to understand, I was curious. I didn't know what I was looking at. I just took a little of the damaged material, laced in a thumbnail. She shifts her weight to her crutch. The next cycle they were gone. They took a little food and hiked up towards the wild margins where the greenway meets the wastes. Someone saw them in the distance, but that was it. They disappeared into the overgrowth. I think I found them with my mercenary friend. I forgot. Ankita. She sits down heavily, the vial in her hand. When I saw you, I wanted things to be different. I wanted to keep you here, rather than let you disappear into wherever they ended up. She smiles to herself. Yes, I wanted to understand this place better, but I also wanted to help you. It seems that somehow both my wishes have come true at once. He holds out a hand with the vial. This is for you. You take the stabilizer the glass cold and smooth in your palm. How? Those clubhead caps made it for you, or at least who or whatever made those clubheads. She starts to clear her bench. It was right there, contained in their tissue. I only had to extract it. I imagine you understand how incredible that is. I learned enough from that sleeper to know that your body, your frame, runs on some exotic technology. Exotic technology has a time limit built in. Somehow the Greenway knows that too. It understands your physiology much better than I ever could. It knows how to treat you. Hmm. Just like that miraculous antidote that sprung from the mold, so too has this sprung from your presence here. The Greenway is speaking to you. It is welcoming you. He looks up. I know it sounds crazy, but I know but I know it to be true. Here's the evidence. And what I also know is it is no longer speaking to me. Even after decades here, I have never seen this kind of response. Not since the antidote so many cycles ago. She smiles. So I am going to make you a deal. You bring me as many club heads as you like. I'll extract the stabilizer and give it to you freely. But you have to tell me what the Greenway says. You have to speak with it, to dig into it, to find what being is at the center of it. I have traveled as far as I can. I need you to do the rest. Can you do that? Tell me what the Greenway says. You have to speak with it. Okay. What is? I mean, I saw a gardener in the middle. Any I can do that. Rico sighs with relief and deflates into her chair. Thank you. I'm sorry for the other sleeper, truly I am. I'm sorry I couldn't have done more. But I'm so glad I met you, she smiles. You are welcome here anytime. Rico falls silent. She looks smaller now, more fragile, and you realize how old she must be to have seen the collapse firsthand. You idle a little in the lab in case she asks for anything else, but she remains silent, and so you drift back into the tunnel, thoughts of that other sleeper and where they ended up weighing on your mind. Drive complete, an upgrade point. Grow your own, become self-sufficient through botany. I mean, I did do that. Guess what? I'm also now hard to kill. I'll keep 2 dice even when my condition is breaking. So in case they force me to break or something at some point, I'll be ready. Disable your tracker, escape, extract the past, find action, fix ambiguous, flotilla aid. You didn't manage to gather enough to fulfill the needs of the flotilla, right? Hack Hardens, help Bliss compete. Help Lem work, help Lico's experiments, improve Overlook, join the Hyper, page instead, repair Dragos, study the flux. Peak has studied the flux and now you need to wait for the right moment to pass on the data. Alright. We're doing something. What's going on here? There's Hyper Labs. I can get 2 club heads makes a stabilizer. The couple of club head caps, Rico can extract the miraculous stabilizer they produce. It's a hard thing to believe. And Rico's grow webs. Plant seed. The only way to understand what Gardner gave you is to grow it. Rico is incredibly excited by the prospect. Secure plant nursery. Alright, well, there you go. I'll grow the seed. I'll take good care of it, Sleeper. Rico smiles. Don't worry. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I'm guessing it takes, time to grow. The seed is planted and Rico is an attentive mother to it. What future is forming there? I guess we'll find out. Okay, so these mushrooms are like insanely important. Oh, get out of here. Wait, I can't grow more? Oh, I can definitely grow more. No, I will. No, because I mean, obviously, if this is basically stabilizer for me, I don't really need it because I can just use scrap instead. But would be nice. There you go. We spend a day gardening, gathering spores and the like, and we can reap the benefits. We can sell some of the spores. A bit of cash. The others, I mean, I can always cook it and eat it. So that. Fed without regular doses of stabilizers, sleeper bodies actively decay. A corporate insurance policy. Well, it doesn't matter now because I can just grow my own damn stabilizer. So that's pretty nice. I have become self-sufficient through botany. Okay, we'll repair, we'll feed the stray. Come on, cat, I'm sure you're gonna give some benefit to me, right? Maybe you're just a cat. Very possible. Alright, I think today, as we have nothing else to do right now, as stuff is growing, we'll head over into the job board and start taking some jobs, eh? For literally 0 pay. Positive. Could also be positive. Yep, we'll refresh it. That should do it. Sharing tips and chatting with the crews. Now they will trust me. Peter, Sleeper, Peter calls to you as you cross the axis. He is standing by the same railing as you saw him last time and he beckons you over. I have been hearing things. He gives you a sidelong look. Good things? Peter smiles, mostly. He rubs his hands together nervously. You wait for him to speak. You know, on song I was a teacher. He glances at you, anticipating a response. Really? Peter sighs. Don't sound so surprised. Mechanical engineering. It is an essential subject on a moon where a single mechanical failure could mean the deaths of hundreds. He looks at the ground. The heat, the atmosphere, the radiation, all of it is hostile to us. My students knew this. Their work, their training was respected. As long as they were careful and respected song themselves, they could have their choice of colony placements. They were always in demand. That meant I was respected, surrounded by friends and colleagues, always able to call in favors and repay them like for like. He frowns. Song colonies are small, close-knit. We look after our own. When the flux events started hitting, colonies went dark overnight. We all knew what those kinds of failures meant. Like always, we lost more people than any of the other moons. He balls his hands into tight fists. Not a single one of my students left song. Our future was cut off just like that. My future. He flexes his hands. What am I out here? What use am I? Song is a fading memory, and the systems we built there are useless outside its orbit. How am I supposed to move on from here? He looks at you, his eyes steely grey and glinting. Find someone to teach. Peter pauses, thinking. You don't give up, do you, Sleeper? You just keep going. Peter shakes his head. You remind me of a student of mine, one who entered the program from one of the smaller colonies. They didn't have the advantages of some of the others, but they were stubborn as hell. By the end of the program, they were the most skilled of their peers. They didn't get the best assignment, maybe because they didn't spend much time making the kind of connections that would help you get there. But that didn't matter, because I knew they would make the best of anything they set themselves to do. Peter is smiling now, buoyed up a little by memory. Singers are stubborn, Sleeper. We aren't going to change easily. We won't forgive easily or take help easily. But we'll hold strong. You can count on us for that. Peter stands on the railing. When you see Soul again, you can tell him that. You can tell him how the crews of Ember's song operate. Tell him we will resist. If that means resisting Hurt's imperialist ambitions, so be it. And if it means resisting the flux, so be it. And if it means to, as you have, help others resist those same pressures, so be it. Peter smiles, and then tell him to leave us alone. He turns, his step lighter, and heads off towards the center of the Axis hub. So that's it then. Soul, pragmatic captain. When you arrive at the bridge of the Pilgrim Seed, Soul is waiting for you. You wouldn't believe the messages that have come through in the past few cycles, Sleeper. He smiles. The ship from Step has sent a goodwill gesture, a whole cache of supplies from their own farms. He smiles. I'm not sure how we'll use them, but the gesture is a welcome one. Song, meanwhile, are apparently accepting supplies again, although a little reluctantly, if reticently, if I must say so. Soul smiles. I don't expect them to change anytime soon, it should be said. And what I'm wondering, Sleeper, is what part you had in all of this. Soul eyes you, waiting for an answer. I helped where I could. I've come to expect this of you, Sleeper. He smiles. You look at Soul, his eyes bright and eager, and wonder what he sees in you. Are you a tool to be used or an ally? It can be hard to tell. I want to show you something. Soul squeezes your shoulder, turning you to face the lift. He leads you along the axis of the ship, towards the engines, the clanking of his suit accompanied by the constant hammering and welding that fills the echoey bulkheads of the Pilgrim Seed at all hours. With the cordon lifted and shuttles able to go out to salvage scrap and barter for supplies, the ship has become a place of transformation, moving towards some state yet to be revealed to you. You look at Soul. What is his plan here? What is he preparing the Pilgrim Seed for? Or are his sharp eyes simply focused on making it through the next cycle? Suddenly, Soul stops in front of a huge bulkhead door like the seal on the front of a dry dock hangar. He signals to someone in a cabin high up attached to the wall, and they begin the process of opening it up. The Pilgrim Seed was built as a short-range freight carrier, you know. The amber warning lights on the bulkhead door sent spinning shadows across Soul's face. We built it to ship the entire harvest from thousands of farms to the silos at Passeru. When we realized we'd need to leave, it was the biggest ship we could muster. Soul raps on a metal plate, and somehow she's carried us all the way out here. You led the evacuation? Me, he laughs, not even close. I was a farmer, had a whole load of land and people to run it, and my people helped convert this place for the long trip. He looks at his feet. Others led, organized the evacuation, and debated the plan. What happened? Not one of those folks made it. Soul rubs his forehead. We were out in the back a long time. We were out in the black a long time before we got here, Sleeper. Things happen. The upshot is I was chosen to take over. I guess my crew trusted me and I knew the ship. I argued, reminded them I'm no leader and that I'm sick. But well, when service chooses you, a loud klaxon sounds, indicating the bulkhead doors are ready to open. They groan as they slide back, the metal squeals echoing through the vast ship, bouncing off its hard-plated walls. At first all you see is darkness. Then the lights go on, in huge stripes that stretch back and back as far as you can see. The space in front of you, a vast bay, bigger than any you have ever seen, is empty. When we left Earth, we didn't have the time or resources to convert the entire ship. Soul begins leading you into the massive space. So much of the freight space we sealed away, shut down. But now we have time, we have resources, we stabilized here, at least for the moment. Soul turns to you. Now is the time we make use of all this. What are you planning? What do you think happens next for the Eye, Sleeper? Soul sighs. The flux has already hit one part of the station, and from what I know, it'll hit again. On Earth, we lost everything. There isn't much time, Sleeper, but there is enough time to do something. Think of the number of people we can fit on here. The farming stacks, the housing, hell, we can plant some of those mushrooms you love so much. You want to move everyone from the eye onto your ship. This is the way forward, the only way. We need to fill this ship with able bodies and head for the starboard belt. I thought the eye was your destination. It was until the flux hit here. Now it's just another stop. I'm glad of the chance to resupply and salvage, but we need to go further out. I want you to help me. You know the eye, you have connections, and you can work hard. I've seen it. Soul meets your eye. I know you are like me, Sleeper. You didn't choose service, but it chose you. There are other ways. If you know him, go ahead, but I'm telling you, this is the opportunity we have now. I know it's a lot to think about, Sleeper. Trust me. Soul begins to lead you back out of the bay, but think of what we can do here. The flotilla can't last forever. We need more than just farmers to make this work. We need to build a new world for ourselves. I've heard that out in the belt there are people who have been setting up since the collapse, making something of their own. That's our future, tucked away in those rocks, far from all this. Soul sighs. I didn't bring my people here just to let them die somewhere new. Soul crosses back over the threshold of the bay and signals for the operator to close it up. The door groans and Soul waits for it to stop. Think about it, Sleeper. Soul claps an arm on your back, but don't wait too long. This is happening soon. And he leaves you there in the silence of the vast bay, your head spinning with the thought of leaving the eye. Drive complete, another upgrade point. I'll do nothing with it. So I need 6 more, basically, to get these last two. Endure level 3 and engage 3, so +2 for each of them. Gathering evidence. Peak is compiling their data on the flux to be presented to Soul or Helene. You get the chance, they are dreading the choice. I mean, I am dreading the choice too, really? Because, like, can't we call them both together? I'm sure they will not meet, but, you know. If we could, that would be nice, because I'm still growing stuff, and the aviary is still... I'm still growing Matsuke, the club heads that I need. You know what? We'll end the day for now. We'll go work in our bay. Take some money. Try and get random scrap if possible. If not, at least we get some money. Lost some energy there. We mess up a drive repair, but I still get paid. Alright, so we'll end off cycle. We'll feed the cat. End the cycle. And that will be it for this one, I think. Right, well, at least we'll self-repair. The cat some food. Head over to, I don't know, here. Cook up some Matsuke and eat it. Do enjoy cooking my own food. And this ship is out and this ship is gone. We'll be back soon. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Hellion systems are rare, but those that do always return eventually. Yeah, they'll be back. Selling ship mine fragments, I can buy cheap and sell dear. Stuff is growing. This is still taking some time. If I can get stuff here, I can synthesize stabilizer. And this is just a wait, right? Yeah, just wait for tomorrow. Alright, I'll see you in the next one.